Hey, what's going on, guys? The Beldam is back for a brand new video. And this is going to be the first review for the pilot episode of the series Chucky. And every week after the new episode premieres, I will be doing a follow-up review on what I thought of this week's episode with my handy dandy little buddy here, since it's his show. And I'll just give you my basic just overall thoughts of what I liked, what I didn't like, and I hope you guys stay with me and please stay tuned. So this week's episode was called Death by Misadventure. And it was about this kid, and it was about this kid named Jake, who finds a Chucky doll at a yard sale and buys him. And he plans to take him apart. And he buys him, takes him home, and we see that in his room that he is an artist, so we're told, like, him by his late mother, since he buys dolls, takes them apart, and then sculpts them into sculptures using, like, dolls' heads, hands, arms, legs, etc. So he's kind of like, he's a little bit like Sid from Toy Story when you think about it. He takes toys, breaks them apart, and then reshapes them into something, like, creatively new, even if it's kind of disturbing. But yeah, what he doesn't have the best relationship with his dad, who is played by I'm sorry, I can't remember any names. Devon Sawa. Yes, his dad is played by Devon Sawa. And he doesn't have the best relationship with him. His cousins are kind of, his uncle and aunt are kind of likable, but his cousin doesn't seem to like him. And he gets a lot of shit from his peers at school. So he doesn't have the best life. And when he finds this good guy doll, of course, stuff seems to be going more wrong around him. And yeah, it's just your typical, like, storyline if we're a Child's Play series. But what did I think of the episode, personally? I'm gonna say I enjoyed it. I think it's off to a pretty interesting start. It's just like a series of setups. But I'm gonna be honest with you, and this just could be due to my expectations of it, because I love Chucky, but there are parts of this episode where I just felt kind of underwhelmed, because not really that much was happening, and yeah, it's just like a lot of we follow this kid, and we just go through what his day-to-day life is, and it's hard. So, but the stuff we get when when it really gets good is when, like, Chucky officially comes to life and starts just doing his thing. And there's a whole scene in this episode where Chucky and I keep forgetting his. Uh, there's a whole scene in this episode where Chucky and Jake are at this talent show, and then this complete bitch named Lexi. She has this. She's one of those girls who has those fake plastic sympathy smiles, and then she completely humiliates Jake by starting a GoFundMe because Jake isn't high status like her. So she starts singling people out in the audience and starts heckling them. And when Chucky is discovered at as one of the audience, both him and Jay get up on stage, and then Chucky just does what he does. He starts calling her out. He starts making fun of her, because he gets a hold of her phone, and he starts making fun of her, telling the audience what she has on her search history, and it's stuff like searches for Botox, and this most searched Google result was, "Why do my farts smell good?" That was a search result on her history, and that just had me rolling. And then Chucky calls the audience fucking assholes and dickheads, and it's just this is just classic Chucky. I just love this. And yeah, it's just I don't know. It was just Chucky being himself, and I really liked that portion of it. The characters I just thought were just kind of so, but yeah, I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to where the series goes, especially. There's a part of the show that I am actually really looking forward to, but I don't really want to say what it is, in case you haven't watched the episode yet. But it's gonna go into some places that I kind of find interesting. But yeah, it's just it was a fun, and I enjoyed it, but I'm looking forward to a lot more to what's to come. Especially if I want to see what happens to Lexi, and if she gets her comeuppance. So, yeah, there wasn't really a lot to dig into with this pilot episode. I mean, I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. And I'm looking forward to. Fuck on. Sorry. They always talk when I'm doing these videos. They always talk. I got a background commentary going on in these videos. So anyways, well, what are you gonna do? Anyways, I will see you next week with episode 2, along with some of my friend here. And what would you give this episode? I think we give it 4 out of 5 stars. He really liked it, because he was the star. And he was glad that this version of Chucky returned, and not that freaking whatever the hell that thing was in the 2019 remake. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you next week for episode 2 of Chucky.